this? It's Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I was a little bit... Randy heard about this. I was a little bit bitter about them remaking Final Fantasy VII because it's one of my favorite games of all time.
And you didn't want them to.
And well, it's not that I didn't want them to. I just felt like they were going to ruin it. Yep. And I was talking to Shay about it yesterday. I was like, he's never played 7, and he's like, I'm going to finally play it. I'm like, this is not the way to experience this game for the first time. And I think I just wanted a turn-based, make it look better, but I still think you're going to make it too real and too gritty, and it's going to lose the charm of Final Fantasy VII.
So you think that's the case with 7, but not with Resident Evil 2?
Yeah.
Even though the gameplay is so different in Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, because they held to the spirit of that game. I'm worried that they're not going to hold to the spirit of Final Fantasy VII Remake, but after seeing it today, I think I've come around on it, and I'm more excited for that game than I was. And I love the active time battle stuff, the way they incorporated that.
Right.
The combat looks fun again. I did not like Final Fantasy 15's combat, but this looks fun.
Well, the active time battle thing, I think, is one of the smartest things that they were messaging today. Because so many people, including myself on this podcast, were trying to break down the UI the last time we saw it, and we're kind of confused about exactly how it works.
Look at Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, but now it's it almost seems a little...
It's more tactical now.
It's more tactical. It almost feels like a Dragon Age Inquisition, right?
Yes, right.
So you can pause things if you want to, or you can just play it like an action game if you want to. You can reassign moves and make quick select attacks and stuff like that along the way. I think that's incredible. And also you can slow down time then by filling your ATB meter. But then also you need to fill your ATB if you want to use magic, but the more effective attacks you do, the faster the ATB fills. Having that deep dive into that combat was awe-inspiring today. I love that.
Final Fantasy VII's combat director was the guy who used to do Kingdom Hearts. He did Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which is the best that battle system has ever been in the series.
Okay.
So, but he didn't do Kingdom Hearts 3 because he's been working on this. So I'm not shocked to find out that the battle system in this is actually very well thought out and good.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say, as somebody it's actually my number one was Final Fantasy VII Remake. As somebody who was blown away by that presentation, the one thing that I fear and was kind of validated was that it looks very overproduced. That boss fight.
100%. Yes.
That boss fight seemed like it took forever.
That was the thing that bothered me. That's why it's number 3 and not 1 for me. Is that boss fight looks like it's going to take 2 hours.
Well, you compared it to Monster Hunter, which is an interesting comparison. But I love the idea. It's basically that boss fight. You can beat that boss in a minute and a half in the main game. You know what I mean? In the original game. It's just not a big deal. And it's the idea of taking some mouse you fight early on in an RPG or a wolf in the forest and then just spending $100 million on that fight. It is absurd. And I'm totally with you. I worry about that because we've been seeing that scorpion boss fight with that laser tail, which we all love. It's near and dear to our hearts. We've been seeing it since 2015 or 2016. 2015 when the game was revealed. The remake was revealed. It's been shown again and again and again. And then when they show that full fight, it really is just oh my God, this level of production. No wonder now that they confirmed that the first game you will not be leaving Midgar, which is... I love Midgar. It's one of my favorite locations of all time. At the same time, there is so much good content on that first disc, and the idea now they're not going to get a Midgar, it's we're not going to see the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake until 2030.
I hope that means we get to see more of Midgar, like more areas than we saw in the first game.
Yes. Okay, stop me from talking too much, but the part that made me second most emotional in that trailer was seeing obviously the Aerith scene, and then when the camera pulls out like it did in the original game, but actually getting to look at all of Midgar and saying, at least thinking in my head, I'm pretty confident this, I bet we can go to all these places. I bet we can go to all of these little nooks and crannies that we're seeing right now in this fly-through, which is bonkers.
I want to see the nooks and I want to see the crannies.
Absolutely.
Nooks or crannies, though.
Yeah, nooks.
I want to be able to walk in and watch the entire play of Loveless, which is the play that Aerith is standing in front of. Wouldn't that be
you can also sit down, turn around, and watch To Kill a Mockingbird in its entirety.
Yes. When do they finally get incorporated into that universe?
Also, in terms of story changes, I noticed a couple of new scenes were about them talking amongst themselves of, hey, the thing we did killed a lot of people.
Well, Barrett's always in the camp in that game of it's for the greater good, it's for the greater good, but they do have a crisis of conscience then, as Avalanche. Okay, I guess no spoilers, but when they come face to face with some brutal situations, I forget who it is, but as you're climbing the Tower of the Plate, Biggs or Wedge, or maybe it's Jessie. She's like, I don't know if we're in the right. I don't know if what we're doing is ultimately the best call here.
Also, I will say that I do think you do leave Midgar, or not. That game will end with you on your way outside of Midgar, because one of the scenes they showed was Cloud running around the Shinra Tower.
Right.
Which is the end.
Which is the end of Midgar.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think so. I bet it's going to end with them. We talked about on the podcast before, like looking out over the horizon and saying there's a whole world out there.
I bet it ends with Cloud motorcycling the hell out of there.
Well, what's weird, you talk about story changes. There's a shot of Cloud on his motorcycle. I'm like, oh, this is it? They're showing the end of leaving Midgar? Jesse's on the motorcycle with him. That didn't happen in the game.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Have I explained to you my weird theory that I know is not going to happen, but I want it to happen?
Please.
It is that Final Fantasy VII Remake takes place after Final Fantasy VII. They have gone back in time.
Oh my God.
Cloud does not remember any of this, so you flash back occasionally to weird polygonal Cloud. And so towards the end of that game, it starts diverging a little bit. It's on a cliffhanger of is this really the same game? Are we doing something different?
Yeah.
And then the second game is going to diverge as Cloud starts remembering that, oh, this didn't work before. Why are we getting on this boat? This is not going to end well. And then the third game is going to be wildly different.
That is the strangest theory I've ever heard in my life.
If Yoko Taro was making that game, this is what it would be.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not. Nomura is.
Yes.
And it was amazing to see Nomura go on stage. And
wearing shorts.
It is
wearing
capris,
very shorts, yeah. But it was weird because Katase, the producer, the original director of Final Fantasy VII, he had that weird line where he said, hey, it's been a while since we've had Nomura work so much on a title. And it's
really?
He said, yeah, he's working on all these different systems within the game. And it's weird because he just got done directing Kingdom Hearts 3.
So he was co-directing it with Tai Yasue.
But he's also co-directing this game, the 7 remake. So
yeah, I guess because Tai Yasue was typically the gameplay director, so he handled all the gameplay stuff. While Nomura just wrote the story. Yeah. While Nomura wrote the story, so maybe he's just more involved in gameplay on FF7.
Could be. I think it also is just going to be overproduced.
Yes.
As awesome as that fight looked.
It looks
can't
cool.
keep this up.
I expect every segment will be Uncharted, basically.
That's going to be exhausting if you have to play that boss fight. And every boss fight is like that. I don't know.
Maybe that's the first ones that are going big on that. But
right. It makes for a good demo at E3. It's going to be playable here, and we're actually going to get to play it. We're excited.
What I'm most looking forward to in that game is the boss fight in the elevator in Shinra Tower. You know what I'm talking about? The two elevators that are going down at the same time?
Right.
I want to see that, because that is a Bayonetta situation that I want to play.
Right. Yeah, I think Shinra Tower is going to be really fun. I mean, Shinra Tower could be 1/3 of that game.
Yeah.
There's so many floors on that.
Yeah, how many floors do you go up? Do you think they shorten it? You think you'll go
I don't
fewer
know,
floors?
man. It's a lot of content they have to get through there.
It was huge. Yeah.
Also, it was weird seeing the crowd applaud when they announced that it's going to be on multiple Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Is this a good thing?
There's some nostalgia to multiple discs.
But is it going to be like that? Is it going to be like the content disc that you just upload, like Red Dead 2, and then go back and play that one? Do you think it's going to say insert disc 2 now? That would be awesome, but I don't think that's what it's going to be.
It's not going to be. It'll probably be like Red Dead, but there was an old Sakaguchi thing when Blue Dragon came out, where he said, "I don't need to actually put this game on different discs, but I want to."
Oh, that's funny. Oh, I love that. I'm nostalgic over that for sure.
Do you think they would nod to it in any way? Hey, insert disc 2 here.
They got to use that.
Just kidding. Press A.
You remember that very iconic art of Aerith standing outside the airship, which never happened in the game.
Right.
Or Sid sitting on his plane, looking in the horizon. I want to see that somewhere in the game somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. But...
Oh, Imran, that's such a fun idea.
That would be
just
cool.
a cutscene, and it's just those shots.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And it's Kate Sith doing that jump outside of Gold Saucer and stuff.
And then Cloud remembers when Final Fantasy VII happened.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not going to see the Gold Saucer in this.
Not this one.
I just realized.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot
we're
of stuff
not going to see.
Snowboarding.
We don't get to see what Bugenhagen's weird pod looks like. His lack of legs. I want to see all that stuff. Katase did promise, though, we will not disappoint your expectations. So we have that to look forward to. But one of the things that I got the most emotional about was seeing how excited that crowd was for the demo. I think having that bombing run music behind any demo is just, you can't fail, right?
Yeah.
But seeing the crowd lose their mind for Tifa, whenever Tifa was fighting in combat, even the first cutscene reveal or the first cutscene moment where she punches in the train, like people lost their effing minds, and it's just like, God, I do have such a sweet spot for Tifa in my heart. Yeah. It's so fun to see this version of her.
They made it look like she was a Devil May Cry character. Like honestly, like she was using Beowulf.
Sure.
Like I don't know that she's gonna actually play that way, but it looks like it.
Right.
And I liked she looks like Tifa, but she's a little more like, tasteful. Let's
realistic.
Say. Like, yeah. I like that.
Well, I don't know. Last time we talked about it, YouTube told me that the world these days is racist against big boobs. So
no matter what you do, you're gonna have people get mad about it. So I'm glad they just decided to do whatever they wanted to do.
I have never noticed, and I'm trying to remember what she looked like in Advent Children exactly, but her eyes seem so red. And you looked it up and it's like, no, originally her eyes are red.
In the character art there.
But it's just a little more subtle, I think, in the game, even for the cutscenes. It like almost looks like it could be brown. But this is just like, oof, you're a freak of nature here. Okay.
I just want the goofiness to happen still. Like it's like kind of goofy that she's like fighting with her fists and everybody else has swords. But how far are they going to take that? Is Red 13 going to show up wearing that like goofy like uniform or the
on the boat.
Officer's outfit on the boat, like stuff like that? Are they going to go that far with it?
I hope so.
I hope so.
I worry a lot about the tone of that game and just hearing that dialogue, and specifically because they're animating it looks like the same way they animated Kingdom Hearts 3, which is they're animating it to the Japanese.
Yeah.
Which led to, I think, every cutscene in Kingdom Hearts 3 being unbearably stupid because of the pacing. The pacing is killing it. And
we got to cut to every like character and get their reaction shot.
It's just so awkward. And I don't want that from my favorite characters in the game industry. Well, one of them. Like, it's my favorite game of all time. I want to feel the impact and not be taken out every time Cloud and Barrett talk to each other.
Wait, this is the last time is your favorite character?
Number one.
Oh my gosh.
So this is the last time I'm going to see you guys before this game comes out. Speaking of localization, do you think they keep This Guy Are Sick?
They keep what?
This Guy Are Sick. Remember when you go...
Oh, yeah. I bet they'll have a cheeky... Well, would they have a reference to it if in Japanese?
I don't think they have any reference for it.
Yeah.
But, like, it's such a, I guess, infamous line for that, like, really bad translation.
Right. I also love in when you're fighting the gold saucer and it's like, do you want to keep going? Off course.
Yeah.
Is your response. Like, there's so many...
Even, like, the first boss, it was don't... Or Cloud says attack with tail up, which is not what you're supposed to do.
It's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Yeah. But it's like then the next line they explain it. But it's just a...
But I would love it like if Barrett says attack while his tail's up and Cloud's like, no.
Yeah, I was waiting for a reference to that, but because they didn't have that, I would imagine they're not going to have the other localization things. And I've been playing through the game again on my Switch. It is stunning to me how bad the localization is in that game. Like specifically,
wait, they didn't correct any of that?
No, but I think just the writing in general, like... I think I have this reverence for Aerith, of course, right? And then you go back and play it. Her dialogue is bad. I think the character is embarrassing in that game. She acts like a 12-year-old girl. Like, tee-hee, you have a girlfriend, Cloud? Tee-hee. Like, it effing sucks. I think Tifa stands up as being cool and interesting. And Aerith, who's supposed to be like this holy figure, no pun intended, is just a garbage character.
I did notice they went out of their way to not show the Don Corleone stuff. Not Corleone, what's his name? Cornero.
You're right.
Because
they said he's in there.
They did, and they showed the sewer sequence after, like immediately after him.
Yeah.
They didn't show him specifically. So I think maybe they're saving it for like, here's Cloud in a dress.
What a weird thing to reveal.
When the marketing tease is like, hey, we have to save this entire section, right? Like, we can't show this town. That's how you know how focused in they are, and it's just going to be a problem with scope. Exactly like we could have predicted it 5 years ago.
Yeah. They have 9 months to either show everything or show nothing.
Yes.
I hope Cloud shows everything.
I'm with you, dude. Let's see, other stuff that really stood out to me. Barrett, the amount of talking they were going back and forth with during that boss fight I thought was unbelievable. Let's see. I'm excited for Midgar. I loved, specifically seeing Tifa and seeing her in Seventh Heaven, like in the bar, and how close that bar is to the original game, like including signs in the background. They have the arcade machines, like pinball machines behind them on the right-hand side. I love it. But one thing I love about Midgar is just what a mess it is culturally. It's like there's Japanese all over, there's English all over. In Seventh Heaven, they have a sign that says like draft beer, Texas. It's like I want them to keep that level of absurdity and then to reference Texas in there. In the trailer, you can't quite see it. It's like behind Cloud's head in one of the shots, but I want to see that level of stuff in there. I thought that was unbelievable. I think that trailer was really great. There's a lot of breakdown in there for sure. What did you think about when Cloud and Aerith like touched and Cloud's like, and then some dark figures were swirling around her?
So I I had to look this up because I remember something about this a little bit. Because after Final Fantasy VII came out and like the movie started coming out and all that, there was reference to. You remember those guys from Advent Children?
Yes, the Sephiroth clones.
Nomura tried to say they were always there. They were just like ash ghosts in the wind. I kind of fear that's what's happening.
I worry about that too. We asked them about that specifically on the Final Fantasy 15 cover story trip. We had an interview with Katase. If you give me time, I'll pull up his exact quote here, but I don't remember exactly what their deal was in Advent Children.
Nor do I. That movie was a mess.
Is it worth going back to Advent Children and rewatching
Absolutely.
Well, I'm kind of like, because I haven't watched it since it first came out.
If you've never seen it before, yes, it's worth watching the first time. It doesn't make any sense. It is a Dragon Ball movie.
I'm talking about watching it for the second time, though.
For the second time, then no.
I watched that movie without having played Final Fantasy VII. It did not make any sense.
Why would you want to do that, though?
I don't know, because people were like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy is cool, you should watch this movie.
I'd actually argue the game looks better than the movie now.
The new one? The original Final Fantasy?
Yeah, the Final Fantasy remake looks better than Advent Children.
It probably does. And that was like the start of like, they went with that more like realistic style.
Yeah.
Like the original Final Fantasy VII had a like cool look to it, and like Cloud's hair was crazy, but it had like an anime look. And then as soon as they went with Advent Children, like, okay, it's more realistic. His hair looks stupid now. And like, it's just like, I don't know what you're going for.
I feel like that's how I see this. Like, as someone who didn't play Final Fantasy VII, like, these characters look weird.
Which is part of what makes me nervous. I want the kind of goofy, crazy, like, out there style. But if you're making it look more realistic, I feel like you're not going to go that way.
I mean, like, realism is going to start hurting when you start getting to the weird, like, Red 13. Or are they going to have, like, a 15-year-old girl bouncing around in a midriff and shorts? Or the, like, fucking Shadow the Hedgehog Vincent, like, walking around delivering the darkest edgelord lines.
Right.
Like,
it's all going to be silly. Here's the exact answer. So we asked Katase, Joe specifically asked him, so there isn't any pressure to include every character and storyline from the compilation content? Katase says, yes. There may be instances where the characters appear themselves or are just referenced in dialogue, but of course it would be difficult to follow up on everything that happened in this universe. So maybe some of the characters who weren't as famous won't appear or be mentioned, but in terms of the characters and instances that remain in the memories of our fans, we do want to try our best to integrate that in some fashion in this world.
I want Zack stuff, but no one else.
I think a lot of people feel that way, but knowing how popular Sephiroth is, and if they can market
they're already
Sephiroth
adding him
clones
in
again or whatever, like
they're already adding
more Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Like we saw a scene in today's trailer of Sephiroth in Midgar as like a hallucination of clouds,
right?
Which was not there in the original game.
Normally, it's just he has those visions, right? Like it's more than a reactor. I think there's a point when you're on top of the plate, where in the helicopter, I believe, like one of the Turks mentions Sephiroth, and then Cloud freaks out a little bit afterwards, and it's like Sephiroth, like it's just the name on the black screen, and so they're replacing every instance of that with him coming and talking to Cloud. I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah.
Also, Reeves should be played by Keanu Reeves.
Is it too much to
Ben
ask?
Reeves.
Oh, that's also really good idea.
Oh.
That was just a clip from the full episode of the Game Informer Show podcast from E3 2019. You can subscribe to the audio version of the show to listen to the full episode, including more episodes which are going to be coming up throughout the week. We're going to be coming live from E3 2019 on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, including developer roundtables and fun discussions about the games we've played. Thanks for watching, everybody.